Yo.
We are back with the next episode of Those Two Dads. So today, we're going behind the scenes with Spencer Mecham, founder of Builderpreneur and creator of Affiliate Secrets training program. He's sharing his personal journey within affiliate marketing, YouTube, and his aha moments along the way. So Spencer is a recipient of Clickfunnels 2 Comma Club Award, and he's won the Green Car for being one of Russell Brunson's top affiliates, which is pretty freaking cool.
Just crazy.
Spencer has helped countless mom dadpreneurs create very successful online businesses in the affiliate marketing niche. If I could say affiliate.
Words are hard today, apparently.
I guess, man. I mean, it is 9 o'clock. And now he's working on helping them grow YouTube channels. So let's jump into it, Josh. So we're your hosts. I'm Kyle. This is Josh.
Yo.
Actually, I guess before we jump into it, we got to do the old standards. If you value our content, guys, you get value out of these interviews and these clips, give us a subscribe, drop us some hearts on YouTube, and leave us a comment. So that helps us grow the channel for you guys and get more awesome guests like Spencer Mecham. We love helping and sharing with others and appreciate all the support getting the word out and growing this podcast channel. So let's do it, man.
So
bring Spencer in.
Bring it on in, Spencer Mecham. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
What's up, man?
Oh, I just switched. I'm top left.
Yep. Now you're top left, and now you're big.
Sweet.
Big man on campus. Yeah, buddy. Well, thanks for coming into the show, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I haven't done a late night one in a while, so I've been tinkering with lighting. It's good for me to figure out how light works at night too.
Yeah, right.
There you go. We're always juggling around our kids' schedules and work schedules, and so this is kind of what we've settled into is the 9 o'clock on like a Tuesday, Wednesday type deal. So
it works. I mean, this is how I used to always do it. So it's just been a bit since I did it that way.
Yeah. Before we jump in, I gotta tell you guys a story real quick. So this morning, we're getting ready for work, me and my wife. And my 7-year-old comes into the bathroom, and all of a sudden he like chucks this thing at me, but it doesn't come at me hard, right? It like floats in the air for a second, and then next thing I hear, he goes, "Nipple bomb!" And I'm like, what? And then I realized what he threw at me. He threw at me like a bra pad. How he knew what that thing was, I don't know, but like my wife and I were just rolling laughing. It was absolutely hysterical.
Dad life at its best, right there.
I mean, dude, they are so funny. Like it never ceases to amaze me, like what my kids come up with, and like there's never a dull moment around here.
No, that's for sure. And you've got 2 boys, I've got 2 boys, and Spencer, I know I think you guys just had your second one come around now.
Yeah, we got an older girl and then a younger boy, and then we got a third coming, but we don't know yet.
Oh, all right. Well, congratulations. That's
big awesome announcement on the channel here.
Yeah, all right. Everybody, you heard it first on Those Two Dads.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I probably haven't.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Now that's gonna be like a meme coming across our channel now forever. It's like we heard it first. We were the ones.
You really did, actually.
That's kind of awesome. So
Sweet.
Yeah, though that's really cool though. I know that's being part of a family, starting to build a family is important to you, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted you on the show is because that was something that we try to we've built this show on top of that, right? We've built this in a way to showcase people who are doing things with their lives, positive things, making an impact, helping change lives around the world, and doing that for the sake of their family. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, obviously the people who know you know who you are, but tell us who Spencer really is.
Oh man. Like non-business.
Yeah. Just like introduce Spencer, and then we'll get into the business stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm like you said, father of 2, a girl and a boy. I've been married. I met my wife in college in 2012. The end of 2012, we got married midway through 2013. So we got married very quickly, about 8 months after we met.
Wow.
When you know, right? So why wait? So that was about 8 years ago. A huge huge fan of traveling. So to me, there's a debate between beaches and pine trees wins always on my front. So I'm one of the small amount that I think believes that.
Is that hiking or like winter sports, or what is that for you?
All the above.
Yeah.
Any temperature, anything. I just love like mountains and pine trees. So I don't care what's going on as long as I'm in it.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
Seeing the
this year,
mountains like it.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, seeing the mountains like this, like on a ski slope or like on a snow machine or something, like there's nothing like it.
Yeah, and that's my goal this year is to get into snowmobiling. So I did it one time last year for the first time and was like, this is so fun. So I'm like watching all these videos on YouTube right now and like figuring out how it all works. And
Yeah.
Anyway, the plan is to tinker and figure that out this year. I do snowboard a lot. And then probably the last big thing, I'm a big pickleball player, which no one knows what it is, but they will soon.
They will when they're 65, Spencer.
I guess not soon. At some point, everyone lands there, right?
You know, funny enough, after getting involved in your program and learning about you, and I started getting like watching your videos, you talk about pickleball, and randomly I started seeing like ads about pickleball, and other people who play pickleball started showing up in my feed, and I'm going, what the heck? Like I saw stories from a different guy that I follow holding a pickleball. I guess are they called a racket or is it a paddle?
Paddle.
It's a paddle. And so they look like a big table tennis paddle kind of. And I saw him holding one of those and I was like, I know what that is.
Yeah. You're welcome. I've done my job.
So I guess that's a good question. What got you into pickleball? Was that something like that your parents played or somebody in your family played or just kind of random?
Kind of random. I feel like all the other racket sports, tennis and racquetball, the people that play those have been playing their whole lives. For you to get really good and play competitively in tennis, you got to start when you're like 4 years old. So I'm already like lost. There's no chance for me in that world. Right. And pickleball is like new and fresh, and there's not that, right? So you can move up pretty quickly into competitive ranks because everyone's fairly new to it. Like it's just been exploding the last few years. The other thing is it's very community based. So pickleball, you could probably like right now I could go walk. Well, maybe not right now, but in the summer I can go to any pickleball court around me, show up. There's people there. You just walk in, say, looking to play. Oh, come on in, and they're very, very community oriented and welcoming. You don't see that in tennis or anything else, right? Like you come with your group, you play with your group, you leave. And pickleball is the opposite. You just kind of show up. It's always like this drop in, they rotate through. So it's really easier for somebody who's trying to figure stuff out to learn and connect with people. And I don't think you see that in other sports. It's a really cool feel and vibe. Yeah,
that is really interesting. I didn't know that about that. And that I guess that would make it more inviting to want to play, right? Because if you can just kind of do pickup games like that, then it makes it easier to get involved. So that's cool. I learned something new today.
Were you a sports guy growing up? Did you play team sports or anything like that?
Soccer, so it didn't translate at all.
Yeah. I feel that. I played soccer too, man. But that competitive void that's left, though, like it's hard to fill sometimes.
Yeah, you miss it, and that's where it comes from.
Yeah, it makes sense. So obviously, people know the Spencer Mecham Builderpreneur brand, and so how did that all get started, right? Like what did it start with you and then evolve into Builderpreneur, or that was kind of like the brain baby, right? The brainchild was Builderpreneur, and you just built on that.
Yeah, good question. No, I definitely didn't start with Builderpreneur. So my first online business was called beginningstocktrader.com. Mm-hmm. And that didn't do so hot. We had a few successes, but nothing major. And anyway, I learned so much though in like the 2 years that I was doing it. I learned so much about blogging and YouTube and all this stuff. And I didn't really like talking about the stock market. I realized I built this whole like brand that didn't really have any followers, but it was I built it all out.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I didn't really love talking about stocks, and I was pretty bad at it. Like I was like, man, I've never made money in stocks. Why am I here teaching everyone stocks? And so I was like, I've done pretty good in business in general. I know a ton about, like, I've learned a ton about YouTube blogging. And so it was literally just like one night, I'm like, I'm going to go into that niche now. And I was like, I better make a quick, it's kind of one of in the beginning, you're just like winging it. So I go to GoDaddy, and like entrepreneurguy.com, no taken, okay. Become-an-entrepreneur.com. That's taken, dang, and Builderpreneur wasn't taken. So boom, buy it, go. Now branded it.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's how a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors start, right? People start thinking of an idea, they like, well, what could I do with this? And you start thinking what you want to name it. And next thing you know, you'd come up with a name. And that's, and that's kind of interesting too, because Builderpreneur seems like it's something that is a well thought out, just, like an idiom of entrepreneurship, right? Like people are like, oh yeah, that'd be really cool to name it like that. It'd be fun. And it's interesting that most people that they don't realize, most businesses came off of someone going, what are we going to call this? I don't know. Let's call it this.
Whatever GoDaddy has available.
Right. Whatever you can get, or like, yeah.
And that's kind of like how we came up with the name of the show.
Yeah.
Like you're in build mode, pun intended, I guess. and you just don't want to, you're just like, I want to grab this URL. I need something, but I can't build it really without it. And so let me just go. And then you're on to the next thing because you're excited about your vision. You're not stuck on the name,
Yeah.
Which I think is powerful. But that's where they stall. They stall on like the vanity metrics, like I need this cool name, or I need this perfect website to be finished. And you're like, website's never finished. It's always evolving, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that's powerful in your story. It's like, yeah, like grab this thing. It was the next available. And I'm like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And that's probably one of the biggest things I think I've done well, with all the mistakes in there, is just like full speed ahead, like not letting the roadblocks stop me, and letting the mistakes kind of just roll off my back because they come up so much.
Was that easy for you to do at first? Like roll the mistakes off your back?
I think that was that's one thing. Like, I really think that's like one trait that I just happen to have that very much has helped me along the way, is just kind of like, let's just try this. Let's just try this. Let's just try this. And not really caring when it doesn't work. And honestly, like online, I don't expect it to work most of the time. Like if you follow me for any amount of time and you hear all my stories, probably half of my stories are like, so I tried this just because I was bored, or just because I wanted to see what happened, and then it's like, oh wow, like 5 million views on TikTok. And it's crazy, and so like it's accident. Like one, like so many happy accidents, because I kind of just like to do things and try things and put out a ton of content and see what happens.
Yeah, that's and that's one of the things that a lot of the long-term entrepreneurs have talked about, right? Is put things out there that can stay out there and that can just be there to help build your brand and help build your, your knowledge, the knowledge of people who know you, right? Like just be able to do those things, or like Eric said, right? Eric Sablon is a guy that, follows us around here. Try entrepreneur. Yeah. Like, just like you're trying things and you're just continuing to do things and you put things out there. And then all of a sudden one day you look back and go, holy crap, that one thing that I did that I didn't think would do anything, now it's, blowing up. And I guess that actually kind of
is marketing though. It's split testing. It's split testing,
right.
Until you optimize.
Yeah. And even if I'm not calling it that, that's kind of what's happening, right? Like, new platform called TikTok. Let's see what it's about. Boom.
Yep, for sure. And that's actually kind of a nice segue into the next piece is, so you got your domain, you came up with the Builderpreneur name, and you tried out obviously the crypto thing and it didn't go as well. So once you got Builderpreneur kind of running, how did that evolve into really being that solid brand? Like where did that journey start, and kind of where did it take you into the next step?
Yeah, good question. So I'm trying to think. So I've been trying stock market stuff for a year and a half or so. None of that had worked. I tried blogging and Instagram was kind of where I'd gone. And then I had one single video success on YouTube on that kind of previous channel and brand. So it started on YouTube, just kind of looking around. And this was right when Clickfunnels, if the audience you're talking about here is familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
Right when Clickfunnels was launching, I think it was Expert Secrets. So he launches a lot of books, but I think it was the Expert Secrets launch. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the business marketing niche. And right then I heard about Expert Secrets launching, and I was like, okay. And I was kind of just getting into the Clickfunnels world, hearing about it and watching some of their content and stuff. And so I was like, I'm going to join in on that promotion and see what happens. And so a YouTube review, a couple of YouTube videos, tried out with a couple ads, even tried just like hanging out at the college. I lived by the college and just like hanging out there with a sign that was like, hey, buy a book. And it actually went pretty well, because during their launch, they were so, I don't know if desperate's the word, but they were paying for 2 days. They were paying $20 per sale. So you sell a $7 book and they pay you $20 commissions.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like, how often do you see that come along? And that happened to be right when I was starting. And I was like, I realized like for those 2 days, there's no way to fail. Like, just like, who's not going to take that deal? So I think I was handing out $10 bills at the college. Like, hey, here's $10, buy the $7 book. You make $3 and you get a book. And I make a few bucks too. And, no brainer, pretty easy to do. But I was able to do well enough on that launch that I scored top 10. Right. And that was like, I was kind of coming from nowhere, because I really hadn't done any affiliate marketing at that point. Didn't have an audience at that point. It was one of my first like 5 videos on this new YouTube channel that just, it's one of those videos again that I'm like, I don't know why that video ranked. Like, if I was teaching somebody and they gave me that video, I'd be like, no, that's a terrible video. Don't post it. No, bad. But for some reason it did well. So it had some success there. And then my name kind of got out there, like, oh, wow, who's this random guy? And from then on, it's kind of felt just like a snowball. Like I'm not like,
when you were
I'm
on that
chasing
top
my
10
business. Sorry, go ahead.
When you were on that top 10 list, you just go back for a second. Was that, were you on a list of, like just really hardcore affiliate marketers, and then there's you on, you know what I'm saying? And then because you're new at the time, right? And then so like all these guys are like looking around at each other, like, what the heck? Like, who is this guy?
Yeah. So
how'd that help launch your next step?
So that launch had 2 names that I recognized, because I wasn't even big in the entrepreneur space at this point. Like, I didn't know other people that were big, but John Lee Dumas, who I listened to as entrepreneur, he was there, and then Tony Robbins was promoting for Russell Brunson on that. So there were the top 2 names obviously on the list, and I think I was like 9th, But I was like, I'm on a list with those guys, I'm sure they didn't even look.
Like, that's insanity.
Yeah, it was, and the winners got to go to like all gather, all 10 of them at the Clickfunnels headquarters, which Tony Robbins didn't come to that. Apparently he's busy. But anyway, just like the chance to do all that, and so that's why I was like at the college and stuff. It was just like, oh my gosh, like I actually have some traction, like this could really happen. So I tried everything, like threw the book at it, right? Everything I could. And I sold, it was like 300 copies, which is quite a bit, but I would have thought those guys were getting thousands and tens of thousands, without knowing. So yeah, then it was like suddenly I was chasing my business, right? Suddenly I'm getting like direct messages. People are like requesting Facebook friends. And I'm like, I've got this like low key YouTube channel with 5 videos, a blog that has no blog posts up yet, no Facebook group.
Does it have a screenshot of you in top 10 and like highlighted with Tony Robbins?
Spencer, Tony, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's it.
We're on a list. We're on a list together. So, yeah, it was just so it was just like, crap, I gotta get a website. Crap, I gotta get a Facebook group and start like, crap, I need some kind of like free, I need to start capturing leads, because all these people are talking to me. A bunch of people like, what are you doing in here? And I'm like, I'm not really doing that much. So that's when Affiliate Secrets was actually born. Is like all these people like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'd done like, I did like 5 or 6 things on that launch. And I was like, oh man, like I can't tell everyone what I'm doing. So I made that first Affiliate Secrets course and sold it for like $37. I was like, zero confidence in the course. Zero. I mean, it really wasn't worth a ton. Like was no expert. And so I was like, hey, here's what I'm doing, if anybody wants to know, and launched that first one like a month and a half later, just kind of like using my Facebook profile. And then it's just like been growing. We're like, oh, quick, create a Facebook group. And so I started putting content out, really just went into content mode, like content in the Facebook group daily, content on the YouTube channel daily, content on the blog daily, just pumping out content every probably 2 or 3 evenings a week. I'm still at my job at this point. So when I say pumping out content, nothing like what I do now, but yeah. And it just started to happen. Everything kind of just slowly starts growing, and you're kind of just bouncing around like, okay, improve the course. Okay. Make the YouTube videos better. Okay. Like you just kind of like, I don't know. All I can say is I felt like I was chasing my business for like a year and a half, just trying to keep up with it.
Sure.
Did that get
No, that
pretty
makes
exhausting then
perfect
for
sense.
you?
Say it again.
Did that get pretty exhausting, or did you feel burnt out at a point chasing?
I don't remember feeling burnt out, and I think a lot of that came because it was exciting, because results were kind of coming quickly too.
Yeah.
So I remember feeling burnt out before that with the previous business was 2 years of nothing, right? And same thing, I put in more time in that business because at that point I didn't have kids. My wife worked evenings. I had lots of time to build that business, and I was burnt out there because there was nothing to excite me. Like the biggest excitement was clicking post on a blog post or something.
Sure.
So then that year was more like just riding a high, like just like you're winning, right? And so
yeah, so you're tired and obviously like, oh my gosh, and kind of stressed with all the stuff going on. But like every day you wake up to results, you wake up, check your phone, like, oh, course sale, oh, affiliate sale. And it's just like, this is so crazy, So it didn't feel that exhausting because it was exciting.
Yeah.
Sure. That makes sense. So was that affiliate secrets then, was that the kind of the inlet into the Clickfunnels kind of plan, right? The Clickfunnels journey was building that on Clickfunnels and starting to put together that affiliate side of things too?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. So I heard about Clickfunnels at my job. I worked as a marketing guy at a local company. And so they told me to sign up for Clickfunnels and get them running on Clickfunnels. And that's how I found out about Clickfunnels, was just there at the job. And so then that's where I kind of learned how Clickfunnels worked and stuff. And at the same time, that's when I started side hustling and affiliating for Clickfunnels. So they probably wouldn't be stoked to know that they got me into that. And then that's what made me quit them after 6 months later after that. But yeah, so I'm trying to remember. It's been like 4 or 5 years. It's so the ball just started rolling. I sold Affiliate Secrets 1.0, and then 6 months later, I was just pumping out YouTube videos about Clickfunnels. That's what I did. So I was like, okay, this is working. I've done well on YouTube, and I've done well with this affiliate program. So I went all in on those two things.
Sure.
I made like 20 to 30 videos. They were just all about Clickfunnels. Everything I could think of about Clickfunnels on YouTube, and it was exclusively promoting that program too. And YouTube recognized it. Like the first 10 videos, not crazy good results or anything, but I was getting views and stuff better than I was on my previous channel. And then like somewhere between the 10th and the 20th video, it was like YouTube just recognized what was happening here, that this was like a Clickfunnels niche YouTube channel. And suddenly like I was ranking for everything. It almost just felt like it happened within a few weeks. It was like every video I made about Clickfunnels was ranking. You just type in the word Clickfunnels and there was Spencer, and so then, I was like, okay, I'm really going all in on this. Commissions are rolling in every day. And that's when I started branching out, like I said, the Facebook group and all that. And I started to feel more confident in rebuilding into Affiliate Secrets 2.0, which was drastically better. I started promoting Clickfunnels on 5 or 6 other platforms and kind of figuring those out. But really the core, I think I learned a lot at that moment where I focused in and said, okay, YouTube's working, Clickfunnels is working. I'm only going to do YouTube right now. I'm only going to do Clickfunnels right now. And that kind of level of zoom, it worked for me because I became an expert at Clickfunnels, and my audience became very niche because they were all about Clickfunnels. And then YouTube recognized all of that and started to kind of just say, hey, this is the Clickfunnels guy. If he puts out a video that has Clickfunnels in the title, we'll rank it. And to this day, if I put out a video with Clickfunnels in the title, I rank it. Like it just ranks within like a day or two in YouTube, and it holds the spot.
Sure.
Because YouTube has recognized that, right? That like that's my niche.
Right. And it's interesting you mentioned that too, because I was just watching. So anybody who's ever been around the YouTube world knows Sean Cannell. And Sean talked about this, some of the insider information he got from an event he went to. And YouTube was talking about that, of like the things of they recognize when you are doing, certain content about a certain topic, And sometimes it happens quickly and sometimes it takes months. But when they recognize that you are the person for that thing, then they just start going, all right, we're going to push that up a little bit more and see how many people engage with it, how many people are watching it. And of course, now YouTube has evolved over. So now they're focused more on, watch time and engagement, and are people liking the videos, commenting on the videos. They're getting more into a social aspect nowadays. But knowing, like, it's funny because seeing and hearing that stuff from Sean, and then you just saying that, it's cool because seeing that YouTube hasn't really changed all that much. And so for people out there that are listening and they're thinking like, oh, I can't make a YouTube channel now because it's so saturated. And I tell everybody, I was like, stop that. That's a broke mindset. Like, YouTube is not saturated. They have billions of users every month. And some of the top channels only have a couple million subscribers, so it's like, there's plenty of room out there. And so that obviously, ClickFunnels became your niche. YouTube became part of that niche. And so where Two Comma Club, Dream Car, obviously those are two different awards and they're earned differently. One based on the money you earn through ClickFunnels, the other one based on, being an affiliate of ClickFunnels. And you've been recognized as not just an affiliate, but like the affiliate of ClickFunnels.
That's how I found out about who you were. Like, Josh and I were in an OFA challenge together and we didn't even know it. And out of that OFA challenge, we were introduced to you and your stuff.
Yeah.
So like that's a wild journey from selling a book on the street or really giving it away for $3. It's being in this book, the third,
yeah.
Third,
Oh yeah. I have like six of those books right there. They kept sending them after I was in it, but yeah, I mean, it feels like decades, and it's been 5 years. It's just crazy.
So is that when
you've accomplished a lot in 5 years, man?
Yeah. But once the ball starts rolling, I really think it's like you're on this hill and you're pushing it up and up and up, and it's so exhausting. And then suddenly you like peak, and suddenly the ball's just rolling on its own, and you start chasing it. And I think everyone experiences that at some point who gets to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. The attraction marketing kicks in, right? Like where it's inertia at that point.
Yeah.
Gravity, maybe. I don't know whatever the right physics word is.
Yeah. Don't ask me.
So the question that I have always heard from people that they always want to know, right? Like, what was the offer that took you to the Two Comma Club award? Like, what was the bang up offer? Was that Affiliate Secrets, or was that something different that took you to those 2 commas?
Oh, so the 2 commas was actually for affiliate commissions as well. We've almost hit it with Affiliate Secrets, but the one that I have right now is just straight affiliate commissions.
Affiliate. That's awesome. Like that in itself tells a story on its own, right? Of affiliate commissions alone can get somebody the 2 Comma Club award. And there was
it's the power of getting your cookies out there, man.
You're right.
Yeah, and jumping on a train of something that's taking off, right? So the last 4 years have been just massive growth for ClickFunnels, and so kind of tying myself to that train as it took off from the station worked out really well.
Yeah,
for sure.
So the affiliate side of that, I mean, you said when you and I were talking before, you hit the Dream Car, I think twice. You said you hit that. You got to like the second level or whatever when they pay $1,000 per month or whatever towards your Dream Car. Yeah. And you were promoting it on different platforms. And so was that the drive to make Affiliate Secrets 2.0 to show people like how to do that? Or was there some other driving factor to that?
So yeah, the drive for 1.0, right, was just like, I don't know, I've got all these people like, I didn't want to be a course guy. I just had people asking me what I was doing. And so I, made like a 15 module video series about it. That was kind of it wasn't really a drive. Like I wanted to make money. I wanted to change lives. I just kind of wanted to give them something when they asked me about it. And the drive for 2.0 was more like, okay, now I built up a much bigger audience. I've learned 10 times as much. I actually feel comfortable talking about this now, right? And I'm still selling this like dinky, crappy course that I made like 2 months into being an affiliate marketer. And so even the drive for that one wasn't like, oh, I want to go make a bunch of money. It was like, you're selling garbage right now. You need to get rid of that and put some real effort into this. And so that was the drive for that. And I think I launched that right as I quit my job. I took 2 months, kind of went underground, built it out, 200, 300 videos this time, about a lot of different stuff.
Crap.
And that was my first, I used, I still use this, Russell Brunson's just perfect webinar, which a lot of people keep saying it's dead or old, or everyone knows it's happening, but it worked then. I remember people saying it then, like, oh, that perfect webinar is just, everyone uses the perfect webinar, I'm like, well, worked really well for me. It still works really well for me.
It's always going to work. It doesn't matter if you know what's happening. Like if there's value there, you're going to buy it. You know what I mean?
Russell still uses it, right? He's teaching you it, and then he sells you it after he just taught you what he did to sell you. So of course it works. Because the value's there. And so I spent like a couple weeks because I knew affiliate stuff at this point, but I didn't know I like funnel. Like I didn't really get all the stuff that makes a successful funnel. But I once again buckled down for a few weeks, bought the perfect webinar script and all that, and figured all that stuff out. And I guess there's one thing I'm not good at all that stuff, to be honest, like all that stuff and the selling and all that, but I'm good at traffic. I'm good at putting out content and getting traffic. And that's really like all I'm good at. Like if you look at what I do. And so I was able to do decent on that, not because I had a good funnel, not because I had a good, anything really, like good sales copy. I didn't hire anybody, just kind of like winged it, just kind of did it. And it did well because one, I create a ton of content and I'm able to drive decent amount of traffic. And then two, I provide value to those people that follow me, right? And that I bring into my content, a lot of free value for a long time. And so when it came time to finally sell something, it's like, oh, I've been following Spencer for a year, 6 months to a year. He's never actually sold me anything. And so, there's a relationship there that's kind of been built.
Right.
I hear that. So as you're going through that time period, who are you looking to, or like who's like your biggest influence? Is it Russell in the perfect webinar at that point in time, or like who are you learning from a traffic standpoint to kind of bridge the beginning to major success, or is it just split testing? Or both,
yeah, I mean, at that point, I still was kind of like a stingy guy. Didn't spend money on courses, didn't spend money on self-growth. A lot of it just YouTube, and then a ton of testing, right? So like when I first built that first blog, I didn't pay a penny to learn anything, just a year of like deep diving in YouTube. And obviously it showed. But since then, I buy courses. They come up, you talk about Sean Connell. I bought his course, and I probably bought most major YouTubing courses since then. But honestly, like a lot of my big growth has just come from, like you said, split testing. I put out a ton of content. No one sees the content that sucked and failed. Like, so like, wow, he just puts out good content.
You're like, it sucked. Nobody saw it. It's fine.
Yeah, because right. If it doesn't do well, then TikTok or YouTube's not gonna be like, oh, let's blow this up. So no one even sees that content. They just see the good stuff anyway. Like, I love your content. I'm like, you didn't see the 5 videos.
What an awesome perspective, though. Like, I don't know that anybody's like said that specifically to me before, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah, that's probably true. Like, I mean, if it's bad, if it's good, YouTube will recognize it's good, right? And it'll show it to people. If it's bad, YouTube will recognize it's bad. No harm, no foul. That's kind of how that went.
It's actually kind of an interesting point too, because with our podcast, we do this live, and because we work and we're both trying to build businesses, we only do it once every 2 weeks. And so when there's an interview that doesn't go very well, it's very well noticed, right? We're not pumping out stuff every day, but I do, see that because I'm the kind of guy that I don't go in and be like, oh, let's go look at some of these most popular videos. I'm the guy that goes in video by date, and I start looking, and I'm like, okay, what is this person putting out? And what's interesting is
seeing that journey is interesting for sure.
Right.
I was reading your section on that 30 Days book last night, just kind of catching up on that because I think I read that 2 years ago. And so anyway, I was looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I think I might be picking up what Spencer's putting down on this VA situation to hack my our video content, Josh,
Yeah.
and get enough out there.
I can't even remember what I wrote in that, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, but that's the beauty of it, right? Is, you know, the journey has taken you to a place where, you know, I heard somebody at one point say, you know, you've made it when you don't remember the stuff you did in the beginning. And that's kind of one of the things where I thought about that. I heard that like a couple days ago, and I was like, man, that's actually really powerful. Is when people are like, oh, I don't remember what I wrote back then, or I don't remember the videos I did back then. But you remember the impactful moments, right? You remember your first video.
Yeah, you remember the feelings about it.
Right. You remember the feelings of those things that happened. But then when someone's like, hey, Spencer, do you remember that video that you did that only got like 45 views and you like dropped your chair or whatever? And you're like, what? And you go scrolling back there and you're going, oh, that's a bunch of terribleness right there. But that's just it, right? Is you don't know those things that happen because it's not that you're intentionally forgetting it, but like you said, you've been chasing your business for so long. I wouldn't expect it, even myself, to remember what I wrote in a book if it was, you know, not something that's constantly in front of my face.
Well, it's what's your dominant thought? You know, what are you chasing? What are you running at? And been there, done the book. That was a long time ago. What you know, you're on to what's next.
I don't think they gave us much time. I feel like he was like, hey, you interested in this? Yeah. All right, you got a week. Oh, okay. Well, here I go.
7 days.
That's how he rolls.
That's crazy. That's awesome though. I mean, you've had a heck of a journey, and that shows. And obviously, you know, now you've got Affiliate Secrets 3.0, which is where I kind of got into your ecosystem a little bit deeper. You know, I've been following you for a while myself. And when I got into 3.0, and that's what sparked me to dive full into YouTube, and that's what I'm building now, and that's where I'm going, and it's starting to actually get some traction, which is nice. Not obviously, it's never enough, right? It's never the amount of traction I want, but when I start seeing that graph start doing this on a regular basis, I just go, okay, just got to be patient. I know it's the long game, you know. But so with 3.0, you know, I'm assuming same kind of concept from, you know, 1.0 to 2.0, right? You just time, and you realized you've got more info, you've got deeper info. And you mentioned in 3.0 that you're focusing back more on YouTube and looking at training more people to do YouTube type stuff. So is that like kind of the next part of your journey then, is you're looking at going more into being YouTube courses, or like what's the next Spencer thing we're going to see?
Yeah, that's what he said. YouTube's like you have like a goal that has like no real reasonableness to it, right? There's no money attached to the goal or anything. It's just like something that's been stuck in your head for so long, you have to accomplish it regardless of what it really means. Yep. The YouTube 100,000 subscribers has been something on my, since 2017, like I've got to do that, got to get that someday. So that's been like the end of this year was when I wanted to hit it. And that's all I'm targeting right now. Like everything is going into YouTube to try and figure out how to get, I'm at like 82,000 right now. Because I just realized that I like YouTube so much more. And so, yeah, you kind of noticed that as I try to steer more towards YouTube. I think it's one of the best platforms to be on if you're new to affiliate marketing. And I love the way you can have quick wins on YouTube and you can have long-term wins on YouTube, and kind of that combo is just powerful. And what I mean by that is you can put out a video that, ranks or starts getting traffic within a few days and makes you money within a few days. But then you can put out another video the next week, and that just kind of like slow burns for like 3 years and like feeds your business leads for years, right? I love there's no other platforms that are quite balanced like that I see out there. Anyway, so the plan is to hit 100,000 subscribers at all costs on YouTube. And then, I've done 3 courses, right? I've done 21-day blogs. I don't know if you heard of that, but so I've done four courses at this point.
Yep.
And I'm coming to realize, after talking to hundreds and hundreds of students, that the courses can help a certain type of person, but probably about 10% of the people that buy the course can help, because there's another type of person that just needs more than a bunch of knowledge, right? And so next year, really, really want to launch. It'll probably be focused on YouTube. Is probably like we'll kind of do it as a celebratory thing for the 100K subscribers. but a more of an in-depth, like 6 to 12 week program where I'm much more involved, and I'm helping you not just gain the knowledge, but build the mindset and build the, everything else that goes into building a business besides just knowing how it works, and motivating and the community vibe and all that stuff. Anyway, so the plan is to launch one of those sometime early next year. And if that goes well, continue on that path where there's a little more intimate, connection with me and I'm more directly invested in your growth.
Sure. No, that's really cool. And that's, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's the way that everybody goes, but you can see a lot of the big people, the big guys on campus in the affiliate marketing world. And that's kind of the realm that they've gone to, right? They get their success, they get their freedom, they build a brand, they start, getting that, what you call the money tree, right? Like in that case where you're not having to chase people down to make a sale. Sales are coming across your desk and they're like, "Hey, Spencer, remember me about your course?" And you're like, "Yeah." But you're like, "Yeah, sweet. Yeah. How'd it go for you?" They're like, "It's amazing." You're like, "Okay, cool. Great." Yeah, right? But now you can get into, like you said, that intimate relationship. You can start providing even more value. You can start providing even more service and change lives in a completely different way versus a course where, and here's the thing, your groups are awesome. Kyle and I are both in the, the automation nation, and I'm of course in your 3.0 group. And I picked that up on launch, which I'm so glad I did, because when I saw that the price went up like right after launch, I was like, "Hey, I saved myself a lot of money on that one." But the cool thing is that all of this happening, you started a family. Like you took this time. I mean, you put out 4 courses. You've been a 2 Comma Club award winner. You hit the Dream Car level twice. You've got 2 different YouTube channels that are ranking. And then all of a sudden you start putting together a family, having a couple kids. Like, what was that like? Being in business mode, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy cow, now I got to be in dad mode too.
It's the motivation is the real thing though. Like, part of why I think my business didn't do well, previous to having a family, is the motivation wasn't really there. My wife had a job. I had a job. We had no kids, right? We weren't making big money, but there was really nothing to spend our money on. And so, there was just so little stress and so little push to get things going. Right. And so my business took off right about the same time my wife quit her job. We had our first kid, and I came to the realization that $15 an hour doesn't pay for 3 people.
Nope.
It just doesn't cut it if you want to keep
diapers, formula, daycare, like it's insanity.
Yeah. And so like that realization came on, and that was the motivation that got me to start, right? Like Builderpreneur, and those first 30 videos I talked about, Clickfunnels videos, those were filmed from like, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Those were being batched out, and 2-3 times a week. And so
those are Josh and my working hours.
Yeah. See, and that motivation wouldn't come without something to make it happen, right? Like if there was nothing really pushing you to do that, by 11, you're like, "I'm out of here." Like, why am I doing this anyway? And so, they definitely add like a new dynamic. Obviously you're trying to work this whole new, there's just never time. It feels like there's always something you could be doing if you have kids. But it's also the motivation to push you to figure out how you're going to make it work.
Yeah, that's huge. And I know Kyle, I know I can speak for him too, because we've talked about this at length, that
how dare you, Josh?
How dare I will do it anyways. Thank you very much. No, but no, I mean, you're right. The motivation, it comes into you start realizing that when you go to bed at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and no matter how much, flack the spouse gives, they're like, you woke me up, when you came to bed, or, why don't you come to bed earlier? All this stuff. And you start going, yeah, well, this is the motivation, is you don't have to worry about going to bed at 1 a.m. once you don't have to worry about working during the day. Then you can do all your stuff during the day, which that's a really, just kind of brought that question about how many of those late nights still happen, and how often now that you don't have to worry about a day job?
So when I first quit my job, they happened quite a bit. So I was like, oh, freedom, right? Like I'm just gonna work whenever, and I'd work all these wonky hours. I'd work 2 hours here, 2 hours there, 2 hours at night. And I found it just wasn't really that healthy. Like, it was just hard. It was harder. And in the end, it took me about 3 months, and I ended up just falling back and going back to a 9 to 5 that I run, and I take more liberties at that 9 to 5 than ever would at a real job. But any typical day, I'm up working by
Your day
9.
still has to have structure, right?
And so the
goals
idea
and
of not having structure sounds nice until you don't have structure, and then you just waste so much time without that structure. And some people can do it.
More power to them, but the thing Jocko Willink says, right? Like discipline equals freedom. Like you got to stay disciplined. So
yeah. So now I don't do a ton of late night things unless sometimes we'll have something we really want to do during the day, and it's going to be nice weather the day or something. So I'll like today, for example, I'll take a few hours off in the middle of the day and work a few hours in the evening and kind of adjust that way. But 90% of the time, very, very typical schedule.
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
when
cool.
He's got two dads trying to run a podcast calling. Then he's got to work late.
Yeah.
Well, that meant I got to go out in the sun earlier today, actually. So it's nice.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So silver lining, right?
Yeah.
And again, we said it right away in the beginning, and I'll say it again here before we get into the last piece here. But we do appreciate you taking the time. I mean, I know that me personally, since I've followed you a little bit more closely, I know that you do structure your days pretty strictly, for the most part. You've talked about that in some of your videos, and it's cool to see that, a lot of people think that, like you said, when they leave their 9 to 5, that they're just going to have all this freedom and do it whenever they want, and they're going to wake up when they want and go to bed when they want. And in reality, that just puts them into even more stress, because then they don't have that time of focus time. And so I appreciate it. I'm sure Kyle does as well, is just you being here, taking the time out of your evening where you could probably be spending that doing something, either spending time with your wife or spending time, relaxing or whatever the case may be. So we don't take that lightly. We do appreciate you being here and being with us, and, being part of our journey as well on this, and sharing your stories. And the last piece that I will say that I want to just give you the opportunity is, whatever you already talked about a little bit about what you're going to do, but two things. Number one, how do people kind of get into your ecosystem, get into your world? And then number two, what's the amazing thing that, you already talked about doing some of that core stuff, but between now and then you're building your channel. What else can people do to, get amazing value from Spencer?
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about my Facebook group. I will say I've never let a question go unanswered in that Facebook group. So if you have any questions about affiliate marketing, put it in there. If it doesn't get answered to my liking, by some other affiliate in that group, which there's thousands of them, I will answer it, and not just a few words. Like I put a lot of time into that Facebook group, and I almost never sell. I can probably count on like one hand the times I've sold things in that Facebook group. So join the Facebook group to get the most one-on-one interactive kind of community vibe, and connect with a bunch of other affiliate marketers. Follow on YouTube. That's where I put all my best content, I think. And then friend me on Facebook. I'm getting better. I'm terrible at posting on Facebook. Like but I'm getting better and starting to post kind of more just life stuff and stuff like that on Facebook, as much as it's kind of not I'm not a big social media guy. Like, it's not really like, I don't love just like, oh, picture of my life every day. But getting better at it. And then you said, it's how can they get like the most possible value? Get on my email list, because I promote, I have like automations and stuff that'll sell stuff, but like I'll go hard and promote maybe 1 to 2 things a year. And the reason I go hard and promote what I promote is because I think it's whatever I'm promoting has the best chance at taking my audience to success. So for example, we'll be promoting my first crypto thing probably in a month or two, which is like maybe
Good
scary
time. Bitcoin's
subject here.
flying, man.
Yeah, we got an all-time high going on right now. But I haven't promoted crypto once to my group, my list, or anything, because I just haven't found something where I feel comfortable doing that, right? And then I finally found something like, oh, this is good. This is legit. I've been doing it for a long time. It's just working well for me. And so now it's time to put it to the list and put it to the promotion. So as weird as it sounds, like just getting on my email list and then paying attention when I go hard on something, actually pay attention to that. And even if you don't buy it through me or don't buy it at all or whatever, just pay attention to that thing, because it's typically because I think that's the best shot. Like either that person, that company, that training, that idea, something about that is your best shot right then at getting where you want to be.
So what's the easiest way for someone to get on your email list where they would see those type of things?
I don't think you could go to my website, builderpreneur.com, without getting just attacked. And there'll be pop-ups, and it'll beg you to put in an email. So,
and just so that way for people out there that, obviously a lot of us marketers, we're on a lot of lists and we get a lot of emails. So how often do you send emails to your list?
Typically 1 to 2 times a week. If I talk about promoting, if I go hard on a promotion, it'll be every day for a little bit, but typically 1 to 2 emails a week. Never more than 1 in a day unless something messes up.
Yeah, no, technology is a fickle beast, right? Sometimes you set it and you're like, all right, it's good. And then all of a sudden you're like, why am I getting 40 emails right now?
Correct. Yeah. So assuming everything works smoothly.
That's awesome. No, that's super cool. So yeah. And for anybody who's listening, who's watching, something that I love about this, and I'm gonna give you a big pat on the back here, Spencer. So don't get too uncomfortable. But this is a true testament to somebody who isn't trying to be like the guru type, right? This is authenticity at its best. Is someone who just talks about the fact that they didn't go out there and be like, yeah, I bought this course and I bought that course and I did this thing and I got this super high level mentor. You heard him say it, went through and he just kind of did his blog himself. He got into YouTube. He watched a bunch of videos. He learned about expert secrets and just promoted
I love the beat in the street selling the book, man.
Yeah.
In the parking
like
lot. That
being
is
at the
amazing.
college and being like, here's $10. Now buy this book. You make $3. Talk about marketing tactics at its best. That's the kind of things that people who are a figure it out mentality, that's what they're going to do, right? They're going to figure it out. They're going to find ways to make it happen. And whether you've got a job or you don't, you don't have to do everything that everybody else tells you to do. But if you're passionate about it and you want to make it work, you can make it work. But Spencer, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And I know that it's going to be an unforgettable experience for anybody who watches this, because getting to learn a little bit about the inside of Spencer's mind, everybody talks about the journey you took and, being like the top affiliate thing, I think blew me away when I figured that out. Was people were like, oh yeah, Spencer's a top affiliate. I'm like, okay, yeah. And they're like, no, he's like the top affiliate. And I was like, no way. And I went and looked it up and I was like, yeah, you're right there. And everybody, but you don't go around being like, I'm Spencer Mecham, top affiliate. I'm Spencer Mecham, Comic Club winner. Yes, your story includes you getting your dream car, which by the way was a Toyota 4Runner, right?
Oh yeah.
So like, come on guys, you can't get more wholesome and authentic than that. Somebody who picked their dream car from Clickfunnels as an off-road vehicle. Like you said, mountains and pine trees. I grew up in California. My grandparents were in Sonora, mountains and pine trees galore. So I totally feel you on that. But yeah, everybody go to YouTube, go look up Builderpreneur, follow that, subscribe to that, go to builderpreneur.com, get on his email list, watch for those, and go send him a friend request. He's, and in that Automation Nation Facebook group, that is his group. And I can attest, I will be, the witness that he is basically on every question, like white on rice. It's everything there. And I'm active in there as well. And it surprises the heck out of me because I don't think there's another group out there that the owner of the group is that active. And so that's a huge deal. So everybody go find everything you can about Spencer. And Kyle, anything else you want to add?
I think you said it, man. You said it. So Spencer, thanks for joining us, man. Like tons of value. Love. We always gotta layer in the dad life, man. Like there are tons of dads and moms that are out there that are just trying to figure out that they want to make, another buck, a better life for their kids, kind of like what you were talking about. Like maybe they didn't have like a strong why until they were able to hold that kid for the first time, and then like all of a sudden there's this dynamic shift that happens for you, and all you want to do is just make life better. And to see somebody kind of like take off to the level that you're at, basically right as you had that kind of aha epiphany about your why, like that's a powerful story, and that it can happen anytime for anybody, as long as you put in the work and you continue to push forward, and don't, like you said, let those pieces kind of roll off your shoulder that don't work. Nobody sees them anyway, and you just keep pushing. So I really appreciate you sharing that story with us, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that get value out of hearing that. Yeah,
I'm glad. And if there's one thing I could say, I hope that's what they got out of it, is just keep putting yourself out there, and then you'll get lucky one time. Like the luck favors the bold.
That's for sure. So, well, that is all we've got for today. Appreciate everyone being here with us. And we got Eric and Seivel and John and Zeke came by. Zeki, he came by over here. He's somebody that definitely is around that world as well. And so appreciate everybody. And we will catch you guys on the next episode here in a couple weeks.
See you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.